Hello everyone, welcome to Celestial Plans. My name is Crystal Cedar and today we are going to be doing my February and March Spiritual Pagan Witchy Planner setup for actually February and March because February is such a short month. So I have been using a modified classic and mini happy planner in an A5 cover size for a full month now with the 2022 We'Moon Datebook. And so I bought the We'Moon Datebook unbound and I was able to punch them using the We Are Memory Keepers Power Punch. It's a single punch, but it kicks butt and takes names. And made it for, I kind of customized it. We are now about midpoint in the first quarter of 2022. Lunar New Year is over, Samhain is over, and I can start the whole new year with the energies of the Black Water Tiger. And what that means is a lot of releasing, a lot of purging, a lot of water movement is also associated with abundance and flow, but you can't have a full river flowing if there are big rock obstacles in the way. And for me, that is past energies that are still lingering in my working space or my spiritual working space, which is this planner. So for this setup, I'm going to be taking out January. There's also December in here because I had my journaling pages from the Venus retrograde, which began on December 19th, all the way through to the end. And luckily, Mercury and Venus retrograde ended in January at around the same times. But dude, was it intense, y'all. So I'm over all that intensity, and I want to make sure that I'm moving it into an archive where I can quickly kind of reach it, but also to put it away. So I created this using some leftover and trimmed down Happy Planner sticker guides. Like, I don't know if anyone's really using them for sticker guides because unfortunately stickers don't peel very nicely off of this. It's a very thin plastic, but it just wasn't peeling up. And so I'm like, what else can I use it for if I'm not going to use it as a guide? And plus I don't really do layouts anymore in my catch-all planner. And so I'm like, covers, because no one else is going to see it. And I don't mind the lines. It's like not about the aesthetics. It's about the function for me when it comes to creating archive binders. Maybe later on I'll get, those really nice Happy Planner archive binder cover things that like cover the pages, but then they leave the disc exposed, but I'm not quite there yet. So this is actually what I started to archive my December in because I needed the room for January. And so there's some journaling pages in here about the beginnings of Venus retrograde. So I started this on November 29th. That was the very, very first spread that I did in this Spiritual Ascension Witchy Pagan planner. And then the We'Moon didn't start until, when did it start? December 29th. So I had to freestyle a lot of the pages, journaling prompts and everything. So I was thinking that I was going to put it in the back of this. So this is where I keep all of my We'Moon months to come. So the weeks are already divided by month using these dividers that I got from an old Recollections binder. Inside it came with them. And so I just trimmed it down. It doesn't bother me that it's cut off because I don't really use this anyway. I use it more as a divider. And then so we have like I punched all the pages in my We'Moon Unbound Datebook. I punched all of them. Even pages that were just like commercial pages, I still punched them because I was like, well, I don't know, I might need these later. So I pre-punched them. I put the really beautiful art pieces that I love. Like this is another one of my favorite ones. Look at that. Moon Mamas by Nicole Mix from 2002. Look how beautiful that is. And then just, punched everything. And I have it sorted by the month. So May's here. And what's beautiful about the We'Moon Datebook is they have these beautiful cover pages for every moon, technically every month. So it's really awesome. Beautifully organized. Thank you, We'Moon, for that. But I don't think that I want to put my archives on the back here, what I'll do is I'll just keep the archive pages in this, and then I just need to create a cover for it later. Maybe I'll finally go to a Dollar Tree and get those cutting board mats that everybody's using for covers. I haven't decided yet, but right now let's just get December and January out of here, get that Venus and Mercury retrograde out, and start anew for February. I already removed March and I moved it in here in the regular planner because I was getting anxious and I wanted to have things already prepared. So it was just like about yay thick, right, like that, just a couple of pages, and then the mini Happy Planner journaling pages right there. So we can take this away, and then let's get to my December here. So this is from December, so it's kind of like also too a flip through. Venus retrograde starting on the, I think this is pre-retrograde, and then it started here, yeah, on the 19th. Bye. We're gonna get rid of all of that, and I'm just gonna put it in order in this archive. I think maybe what I'll do is I'll put this as the cover for now, because this is just paper and it's not really that strong, unless I have it upside down, which is also a possibility. This is during Yule. I think I did have it upside down. Oh no, I didn't. We'll flip this over there. This was the calendar for December of 2021. So anything December is going to go in between those pages. So December, this is my journaling page. I want to say it was for 13th. This page here, I don't know. I'll figure it out later. And then this was the calendar page that I created for January of 2022, but it still carries the metal ox year or metal buffalo year energy, so it's gonna go in the archive. Okay, then we have the journaling pages. This was for the month of January. Didn't really journal much. What I was journaling was actually the outlook, the weekly star codes from the We'Moon newsletter and the We'Moon website. Every week they would have beautiful like forecasts for the day, and then so I just wrote highlights of what that day was for the week, and then also to any events, like this is when the Hunga Ha'apa volcano erupted in Tonga, so I definitely wanted to write that down because it did happen during this weekend right here, and the energies were water, fire, earth, and then air and water, which is very volcanic, I would say. This was a deep underwater volcano eruption, and it created tsunamis, and it was just not all good, but it's a good reference, so I had the elements of the week right there. It makes a difference, I'm telling you, especially if you practice with elemental energy. It's kind of like a must. And then towards the end, the year of the metal ox kicked my butt, and so I kind of fell off the wagon with my journaling, which is okay. But taking that out, I was so serious, y'all. Look, transmutation, turning Mercury retrograde manipulation vibes and sabotage into strategy and organization. I'm gonna remember this in May, okay? When we have that blood moon and the next Mercury retrograde. That's gonna be crazy. And then I will be reusing these tabs next year. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm going to still archive them, but at the end of the year, I'll flip through it and then I'll create like little post-it tabs to mark the beginning of each month. And then I'll be able to reuse these. So in the meantime, I'll just put it in this journal. Actually, you know what? Yeah, we'll do that. Because I'll also have to remove some of the older art so that I can reuse these sheet protectors for other pieces of art later. Although I have enough pages right now to do extra. These sheet protector pages, I have extra. So this is December. This is the first week. I was still kind of getting the flow of the actual journal, and so I didn't have my routine down yet, and so I was just trying to work it out. Although I'm really proud that I did work out the mini elemental summary box early, because that does help me to look ahead of time and be like, oh, there's no ease here, there's no earth on those days, or there's no water on those days. Really nice tool. So that was the first week ever in my We'Moon Datebook. And that was in December. So that goes up here. Let's see, right here. And then I do have an extra blank green sheet, several actually. And then I'll use that as a divider. And then I think what I'll do is I'll do the tabs of the month right here, like January, February, March, and April up here versus on the side, because the pages do vary in thickness and I want to be able to see the month at a glance really quickly. So this is brand new territory because it's an A5 size, not a classic Happy Planner size. Legit, it's missing one disc to fit into the A5, so I think it'll work. Okay, so this was the weekend of this. And then the second week, oh, that's right. Okay, because it was like this. Yep. The second week was actually a hot mess. It was devastating for me. Actually, I lost a really powerful, very prominent spiritual advisor friend in Colorado. And so, yeah, it's kind of a hot emotional mess during this week. And I still have some back planning and back honoring. Actually, I want to put a picture here of my friend and here, actually. I'm going to put a picture of her here. Her name was Alicia. And she worked, she was a very prominent tattoo artist, made a huge impact on the tattoo industry. And she had a tattoo shop called Soul Tribe in Denver, Colorado. And so I want to make sure I put a really beautiful picture of Alicia here. And I think I was going to do a poetry entry here. But that's the healing to come, healing on its way. And then this was the third week in the We'Moon. I was starting to get a little bit more comfortable, but the energies of Mercury retrograde were definitely in play here. This was an accident with hand sanitizer spray. Not fun. And then I started to write the elemental energies in the actual We'Moon Datebook, but I wrote it right in the middle where I could have taken notes about the movements. So now you'll see where I start to write them now. This is the weekend of this third week right here. This was the start of the new Venus cycle right here. Not necessarily the end of Venus retrograde, but the new, actually, let's see, is it? No, not yet. This is when the Mercury retrograde started. Yeah, this was not the beginning. This is not the end of Venus retrograde. It was just the new Venus cycle in retrograde. And then this was the fourth week. And this was I remember the first week that it was in Bangladesh, in Bengali. Oh, I have it phonetically sounded out there. Did I write it on the other week? Oh, no, I didn't. Not yet. And it was really interesting that going through this healing process with Alicia's passing and the circumstances. Unfortunately, there were other people that had passed that were also very powerful energy workers at the same time of her passing. And so it's like this entry of Kalima, about Kalima, really resonated. And for me to be able to focus on this other language was a really nice distraction because I love languages. So, and then I have my breakdown on the back of the mini happy planner journal. This was actually the second week of the new mini happy planner, Stay True, that I was going to be using for 2022. So there's that. And then this is the 5th week, because then it recycled back to the beginning, and the first language of the We'Moon Datebook was in Irish, or Irish Gaelic. Yeah. And then I finally have the elements in the We'Moon the way that I wanted it to be. And then I think we're getting closer to like where we are now. Oh, almost. This was the 6th week because it's in Spanish. And I tried to do, so I actually didn't put out the video for this week, even though I filmed it. I just haven't edited it yet because it was a really hard week to deal with, because it was all this Mercury transition stuff. Let me get the other page. And it was the weekend that Venus stationed direct. And you would think that when a planet as tough as Venus goes direct, it would actually be an easier week. But for me, it was very tumultuous. It was a very tumultuous weekend. It was a fire, earth, air day there on Saturday, and then an air, earth, water day on Sunday. So it's a lot of emotions, I think, that week. Yes, it was a lot of emotions, but I tried to use a different colored pen. I usually use purple, but as you can see, it kind of didn't work very well with the pink highlighter that represents fire. And so out went the idea of using a pink ballpoint pen. And then, yep, we're all caught up with February. So that is pretty much all of December, a little bit of November, and then January. So it looks like this. This was my December for Yule. Actually, this is for Yule. And then this was actually my Yule ritual, but I didn't get to do it at all because it was the holidays. It was Christmas. So I could not get it done to save my life. But I have plans to use this in the spring for my spring devotional celebration of the goddesses, because I really loved this idea, but I just want to expand on it more. But because I already have it all spelled out, these are with the Nordic goddesses. They were calling me to work with them during the holiday season, but it was just too crazy. So at least I have it all set up, and I'll figure out how I'm going to be doing my devotional for, I'm thinking for Bieltana, or maybe I'll figure it out sometime in the spring festival. And then I remember I was going through a lemon phase because everybody was doing winter spreads, and our lemon trees at my house were in full like harvest season. And so I'm like, no, we're doing lemons instead of snowflakes. And then this was when I started on my own freestyling my notes from watching the Astrology Hub, channel. They have really good videos. It was like the first time I'd ever watched them, so it was a good learning curve. And then the cover, the very first cover I tried to make in this A5, look, no rounded corners. And then this was December. Oops. Probably shouldn't be doing this on top of my current one, but it's okay. And then I figure out where this guy goes. Oh, the 6th and the 7th. Oh yeah. Okay, so this was actually like this, and then this was actually like this. That makes more sense, because then there's the 13th, and then there's the 13th. So pretty much the same setup, but now I have the actual mini happy planner that I can use with that. And then the We'Moon pages that were already used. All right, sweet. So I will be fashioning some kind of cover for this. Probably that's going to be a little bit more neutral than my Yule covers, but for now it's working out pretty well. I'll probably want to create a cover too that goes to cover all of these margins, including this cover, so I'll figure it out. And then for February, we already have that in here. Here's the first page of In Bulk, and then I'm pretty much caught up with all the weekly plan with me's for February. So I'm trying to get them released around the time when everybody does their weekly spreads, whether that be in a bujo, a happy planner, NEC, a notebook, a binder, whatever you use for planning. You can at least have the elemental energies to write down, or even in your own We'Moon Datebook, especially if you have a spiral. Like, this is a really nice cheat sheet place to put the elemental energies for the day. Like right there. And I like to calculate the elemental energies just because, I don't know, it calms me down. It lets me be an active participant in the energies of the week to come, so that even though I may not remember, even though I write them in a million places, at least I had it at once, like, glanced at what the energies will be, especially if there's standout days like right here, Friday the 11th. Last week, at the time of this filming, was very, very... there was a lot of dissonant energies, ridiculous dissonant energies. It was almost as if like these two last days right here, Thursday and Friday, were a mini Mercury retrograde. Like, it was the worst of the Mercury retrograde shadow ever. So, yeah. So this is the current week right now. So, I think, yes, I already took out March and April. So this is the Stay True Mini Happy Planner. I didn't even take that off because I don't need to. And I won't be using the monthly calendar because I'm going to be using the lunar calendar. And so I already took out the journaling pages. And I just put them in the back, like after the very last page of the week, or sorry, the very last page of the month. That's where I keep them stacked. It keeps them nice and clean and crisp. And then every week, when I'm pulling out the week that we'll be working on, I'll pull out one of these, and then until the end, until the next week. And so this was February's. And then March should be already here. So beautiful artwork. I probably will move this to a sheet, but look, it's already going to be Bealtana. That's crazy. I'm barely like dismantling my In Bulk altar. But March is a really long month. Like, it's got some weeks, and it's got some pages. And so this is the last page. Oh man, I could have totally put this in I'll probably put this in a sheet protector too. So here are the March mini Happy Planner pages. And then I love that it's already pre-planned and it's ready to go. The March and February lunar calendars that I'll be using for my monthly calendars now, I moved to the front. So this is the kind of like calendar page at a glance with the new moons in black and the full moons in white. So we have the full moon coming up on the 16th in Leo. And because January had 2 new moons, so that's why there's no new moon in February, which is intense. But the new moon in March will be boom right there on the 2nd, so it's not too far away from a new moon energy. But here's the lunar calendar. So the page at a glance for the year is on page 3. For reference for your We'Moon Datebooks, for those who have a We'Moon Datebook. And then the lunar calendar, I forgot what page this is in, but I believe this was in the back. You can find it in your We'Moon Datebook. I believe it's towards the back, but color-coded and everything with the signs. So, for example, we have the full moon in Leo, and this is based on Eastern Standard Time. So I can't go by these times, but it's easy to translate. And it reminds you down here that is in Eastern Daylight Time. And then the other reference pages that I have in here, the conventional holidays, only because might as well. And then the Wheel of the Year calendar, the Wheel of the Year page is on 23, and it actually goes over not just the Wheel of the Year, but other indigenous holidays, which I really appreciate. We had Imbolc on February 2nd, but for me, I celebrated Tagansar, which is Tibetan and Mongolian Lunar New Year, and then just Lunar New Year in general, and then the Brigid's Festival. And then we have coming up Spring Equinox, and that's going to be Ostara, and that's going to be crazy. It's going to be very, very planning and all that good stuff this year. For long spring, short summer, very long fall. So that's why there's going to be a lot of planning. This is on page 19, a little ditty on the Year of the Tiger, which we just entered last week. And let me double check. Yes, it was last week. And for those that aren't familiar with the Eastern astrology energies, it is very elementally based, and a lot of indigenous cultures still celebrate by the moon, not by the Gregorian calendar. So really interesting page to read here. And then another vital page that I have in the front that I must keep is page 14, which is the eclipses and the Mercury retrogrades of the year. I highlighted the one in May because look at this freaking whammy here. So we enter Mercury retrograde on May 10th through June 3rd, and then right in the middle we have, or not in the middle, but like a few days after, is the total lunar eclipse blood moon, and in Scorpio. So that's gonna be my stomach turns just thinking about it, but lots of time to prepare. That was on page 14. Okay, this is page 13. In the Wee Moon is also too a really nice forecast for you for zodiac signs. I don't go by this because I believe we should all be able to flex our charts, but for those that have a leading zodiac sign in your chart that you're trying to warm to or understand more, like mine is Capricorn. I'm all about the Capricorn because Capricorn is my rising sign. For this decade, I need to concentrate on the Capricorn, and my sun sign is in Cancer, and I'm done with that. Like, I'm over that. It's still a beautiful aspect and part of what I do, especially in my energy work, but as far as everything else going forward, I need to be more solidly on my Capricorn ascendant so I can read about that here. And you can too. So I believe it started on page 12. It was like page 12, 13, and then this is page 14, but I flipped it so that it would be facing that. And then this is the lunar calendar that I'll be using. We'll try it out. I don't put major dates in these monthly calendars, but it will be interesting to see how things line up based on the phase of the moon, and then I can just write it in. And I really love how they have the zodiac sign too, that the moon is in. For if I have to do candle ritual, or if I'm charging some herbs or something like that, then I have it at a glance already. Like, I'm going to be starting one on the full moon in honor of Mama Bast and Mama Sekhmet. So that's going to be on the 16th right there. And then on the flip side is March. And then I still have the asteroid ephemeris. This was on page 215 in the back, because at some point I want to be working with the goddess Vesta, and I'm still tracking Lilith. That hasn't happened yet, but I'm hoping soon. And I'm ready when that time comes. And then I have to take this out. I didn't like to have the calendar in a sheet protector because I couldn't write on it readily, so I'll have to figure out something for that. And then this was just a mini at a glance. I repurposed the back paper of my Happy Planner teacher wall calendar that I got at $3 at Michael's on clearance. And I just cut up the back because it had actually the 12 months. It's a teacher's planner, so it was broken up into like teacher calendar months. I think it ended in June or July, I think. So it's not going to go through all of 2022, but at least I have some months. And then that was from December and January. Just for a quick at a glance without the moons. moon phases on it, just so for reference. For my journaling pages, I took them out of the Adventure Awaits dashboard layout classic happy planner size from 2021. It was a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful planner. I'm probably going to be using these dividers in my weekly catch-all because I'm using a teacher's setup layout this year, and the dividers are not that cute, and so I'm probably going to take these out and then put it in there. But I won't be able to use the weekly dashboard layout for anything because I don't use a dashboard layout in my catch-all. So I just repurposed it by following the margin lines here, which conveniently cuts off the 2021. And then a little bit off the bottom, a little bit off the side, because it was just a huge margin space. And you get these journaling pages here. And it's been perfect room for journaling. So I have here the days in February based on, I think I took this out of June because January I used May because it's a redated. So it's a short month, but luckily it ends, and I think I took this out of December of 2021. Yep, because March has 31 days. And so when you're reusing your outdated planners, keep in mind the numbered days of the month or else you'll kind of mess yourself up a little bit. So I needed to pick a month that had 31 days versus kind of like the day that it started on, because that's easy to redate. Like that's really easy to figure out or just cover up. So this is going to be the last day of February. That's a Monday. This is going to be a Tuesday, and then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So it's not too far off, but that's kind of like the best that I could do. And then I'll just redate it because I didn't want to buy a whole new classic dashboard layout when I had this beautiful one with beautiful colors. Look at that. Like, I prefer having this blank, but if there's going to be color, it might as well be pretty pastel Hello Kitty colors. And so that's what this beautiful planner had. Like, it was like my pastel dream come true. And because it was my dream planner, of course, Happy Planner did not continue to make another one for 2022. So that's fine. We're going to repurpose it. We're going to make it work. And then these will be my journaling pages for February and March. Probably going to be doing, again, the same thing where I read the weekly Star Code newsletter on their website and just write in highlights of each daily forecast, what resonates with me, and then I'll probably continue to do like journaling stuff in the boxes here. Thank you so much for joining me for my Spiritual Elemental Witchy Pagan Ascension Planner setup for the months of February and March. If you're using the We'Moon Datebook in 2022, I hope you're enjoying it as much as I am. I think it was the best thing that I could have possibly done for 2022 for myself, for my spiritual practice, and then just for my spiritual just like individual practice and ritual and ceremony as well, because I love seeing ahead. I love the beautiful artwork and the poetry that has been featured every single month. Like, let's go back to my favorite. I love this piece, Starwater piece here. It's just beautiful. It's such a surprise every week to see what the new poetry is and what the new art's gonna be. And I don't know. I don't think I could ever go back to Llewellyn's after using the We'Moon Datebook. And you can really feel the divine feminine energy that was put into the collaborations in what makes the We'Moon Datebook as well. So I really hope that you're enjoying it as much as I am. And if you are, and you have some tips or some kind of like hacks that you've put into your own personal planner, whether it's an A5 format or maybe you actually did fit it into your classic size Happy Planner, or maybe you got the bound version of the We'Moon Datebook or the spiral and you're using a personal sized planner or bujo, please let me know what your accompanying planner is, or if you're just writing within the actual datebook pages, because I would love to know if there's anyone else out there that is using the We'Moon Datebook customized. I don't really see anyone using them. I know a lot of people will do like a kind of like in their yearly stack, you know, what date books they're using, especially for pagans and witches. And I understand if you don't want to share your methods, but it is kind of nice to have a community where we can all share like what we do to do our craft, to do our kind of like our spiritual planning, other than just like a regular free-handed grimoire, because times are different now, and it's kind of nice to be included in the actual like wheel of the year of things versus, like, for me anyway, a free-handed grimoire where it was just like a bunch of cutouts and like more like junk journaling versus actual craft journaling. Like, I practice elemental energy work and craft, so it's like it's an essential part, and I don't think I would have been as disciplined as I am now without the We'Moon Datebook. If you've enjoyed this video, please be sure to check out my other videos where I do a weekly plan with me every week, as much as possible, as my seva for the year of 2022, of going over how to translate the astrological symbols into planets and zodiac signs, and then highlighted to the elemental energies of earth, air, fire, and water, so that you can learn how to incorporate the elements of the day into your daily life, to be more balanced, to be more conscious, to be more prepared, and to be also more abundant. Because if you know there's going to be obstacles in your way for the week, then you can plan for that and then stay ahead. May we all aspire to find energetic balance and connection to our own loving spirit and inner brightness today. Until next time, friends, and pause, take care. Bye-bye.